Pumpkin just learned that her actions do indeed have consequences after her daughter was rejected from this private school that she enrolled her in because of her spicy content that she makes online. I rolled out of bed Friday morning. I checked my social media pages, and this is one of the first posts I came across. Is a post from Pumpkin revealing that her daughter got denied from this school, like I just mentioned. She said, "Listen up and listen real close. John Millage Academy in Milledgeville, Georgia, needs to do better. I truly mean that. Earlier this week, our family decided to complete the application process for my daughter, Ella Grace, to potentially transfer schools. To give a little background, Ella's needing a school that can offer her a higher level of a academic criteria and opportunities than her current school is able to provide. Throughout this process, I spoke with the admissions department multiple times. I completed the application, I paid the required fees, and we even visited the school in person. At no point during any of these conversations, emails, or the school visit was there any indication that there could be an issue with my daughter attending because of my personal social media or line of work. This morning, I received an email from the admissions stating that they would love to have a parent meeting and explain that it was something that they normally do. Ella was supposed to be starting school, I believe, next Tuesday, so they wanted to have this meeting beforehand. So she said, so I cleared my entire schedule and I brought Ella Grace with me because, by the way, she was over the moon excited about the possibility of attending this school. When we arrived, two gentlemen brought us into an office. One of them told me that Ella could sit in the front office while we met, and I thought nothing of it, and I had her wait outside. The meeting started with them saying something along the lines of, "We do this with every family because we're not only accepting the children here, we're also accepting their families." I thought, great, sounds good. And then I was told that my social media does not align with their school. Excuse me? What? Let me be very clear about something. I completely understand that my line of work and my social media presence are not going to be for everyone. I have no problem with someone having different values or choosing not to associate with certain things. That is their right. What I do have a problem with is the way this entire situation was handled. I'd already gone through the application process, spoken with admissions multiple times. I visited the school, I paid application fees and additional fees, and I was fully prepared to pay approximately $10,000 in cash for the school year for my daughter to attend. I mean, I will give her credit. At least she was trying to take some of that money she's made off her content and invest it into her children's education. But yeah, this private school ain't playing that. So she goes on to say, yes, somehow after all that, I was brought into an office and told that my daughter would not be accepted because of my social media. Not hers, mine. And honestly, I believe Ella deserved better than to be sitting outside in the front office, completely unaware that she was essentially being rejected from a school that she was so excited to attend because of her mother's social media presence. At the very least, the situation could have been handled with more transparency and consideration. Yes, they refunded the fees that I had already paid, but that is not the point. And before the negative Nancy comments start rolling in saying, well, that's what you get for doing that kind of work, please understand what I'm actually saying. I'm not upset that everyone does not agree with my career. I understand that completely. I'm upset about the way the situation was handled and the fact that my child was denied admission because of something connected to me after I had already completed the entire process, communicated extensively with admissions, visited the school, and financially committed to paying thousands of dollars for her education. The attitudes and lack of professionalism displayed by the two gentlemen during that meeting were, in my opinion, absolutely disgusting. And the irony, there are adults associated with that school who've had no problem entering my inbox and expressing interest in the exact same line of work they apparently find so uncomfortable. She's like, maybe that's not a type of school that I want my daughter to be at anyways. And then she decided to do a follow-up post, and she said, Not that I have to explain anything to the ones who want to play sweet Christian girls, but have the most skeletons in their closet. But here's the screenshot since JMA is so good. Or JMA, I guess that's the private school she tried to get into, is so good. However, every single one of y'all missed the entire point of my post. The whole post was the lack of communication giving from that school. They knew the minute I walked in that door, the very first time, who I was, considering everyone looked so shocked that Pumpkin walked through the door. So yes, I was honestly very, very confused today when they denied her, because she was set to start on Monday with no prior issues. Literally on August 18th, the admissions lady told me that Ella was good to start school. And then today it was like, oh, well, we have to have a meeting. That's miscommunication, and the screenshots below prove it. So here's a message where they said, look, I received them about an hour ago. She's good to go. I grabbed the admissions committee at break. I'm about to send you an email so you can submit the enrollment packet. The packet is setting up the payment fee, and there's a $300 fee, and that's the last of the fees you have to pay. And then they just sent another email saying, oh, I'm sorry, I thought I responded, but I forgot to respond. Here are my thoughts on this situation. I'm honestly shocked that they even returned her fees to her, because I mean, that's still money they had to invest in their time doing all this for them. And at the end of the day, private schools are a for-profit business, but you know, they refunded her. But I understand that they probably didn't realize who she was or know about her spicy content when she first walked in the door, because not everybody knows that. Like, my mom watches the show, and I talked to her about the show. She had no idea about Pumpkin's new career choice, so they probably recognized her when she walked in the school and realized, oh, that's Pumpkin from Mama June. But it probably wasn't until they started digging deeper, because when you first look at her Facebook, it looks completely normal, but once you start to scroll down, you start coming across the lingerie post, and it's concerning because you'll see one post of her and her babies out at soccer practice, and then the next post is a picture of her half naked advertising her OF, where she's getting freaking banged on OF. And I can understand where the school would not want to align with that. I actually had someone in my comments tell me that they tried to get into a Christian school and they got denied from going to this Christian school because they were a mother who was not married. And because of that, they weren't allowed to go to the Christian school. And now this private school doesn't want anything to do with Pumpkin. And Pumpkin has to understand, just because everybody in your bubble, like your family's accepting of this, doesn't mean everyone else is accepting. You can't control how people react and how this school is not going to be as open-minded, because it's going to be other parents who are going to be concerned. Yes, they may lose $10,000 by turning you down, but if they were to take Pumpkin on and if they were to start getting complaints from other parents, they could potentially lose a lot more clients and money, and that $10,000 tenfold or even more than that, from people being unhappy if they were to bring someone like that into the school. So I get where they're coming from. I think this is one of the first examples that Pumpkin's getting that these actions are affecting her children. People have been telling her this for months now, since she decided to make this career choice, and she's continued to ignore people when they say things like this. But I think this is only the beginning of how it's going to affect her children. As her children get older, it's going to affect her even more, especially with her public status and the fact that she's doing all these TMZ interviews, bragging about how, oh, I just made $15,000 at OF in a day. Her kids are going to see that, and I feel bad for Ella Grace, because how are you going to explain that to Ella Grace after you showed her this school? Like, how did you, I wonder what she told Ella. She was upfront and said, oh yeah, mommy made a career choice, and because of that, you can't go to this school, or how she, you know, twisted it to tell Ella so she could understand, especially at her age, or if they just kind of lie to her about why they got denied. I don't know, but that's a tough conversation to have. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. In June, she got a new puppy like a few weeks ago, and this puppy's actually had quite a few health problems already after she got him. He's been in and out of the vet nonstop. She said he's already cost her a lot of money. Well, she revealed that they're currently filming for the next season of Mama June as we speak. I wonder if this whole subject with Pumpkin and her daughter getting denied from school. If they're going to feature this on the next season. But I don't know. I think it's kind of out of pocket to call out the school for that. It'd be one if they did know from the jump what she did and decided to waste her time and get a little excited and invested, then that's one thing. But I really don't think that's the case. I think they probably waited and probably found out very last minute. Or who knows? Maybe they didn't even do a social media check and some of the parents complained. We don't know. But either way, she's not going to be going to a private school anytime soon, at least that private school. A lot of people are recommending that it probably would just be best for Pumpkin to just homeschool Ella and her children if she wants to be able to give her like a more advanced education. But I don't know if Pumpkin's like, I don't know. Maybe she'd be one of those types of moms, but I mean, she only has the kids for a week at a time, and then Josh has a kid, so I guess Josh would have to homeschool full time too if they decide to make a decision like that. But let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below, and thank you guys so much for watching.